Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the world's first American pontiff begins a new chapter for the Catholic Church as the Pope prepares for his first full day of papacy.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning and a happy Friday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee, here with you on this May 9th, the time now 5 o'clock this morning. And Megan, I have to say, I did not see much fog, Megan, on my way into work today. So it was a nice kind of break for me, but I know you've said Tennessee might be looking at some fog this morning.
Yeah, we're looking at it kind of a mixed bag this morning, especially when I drove in. There was no fog either. It was not too bad of a start to my day. However, here's a look at the visibility across the region. As you mentioned, yes, the lower you get, I guess more towards the south, that's where you're going to see the heaviest or densest fog this morning. Patches of dense fog right now in Williamsburg and Jonesville. So just be careful if you're heading off on the roads. Here's a look at satellite and radar. We're looking at clouds, but for the most part, we have dried out, and that will be the trend for your Friday. We're looking at a mostly dry day that will continue into your weekend. So look forward to a nice dry Mother's Day weekend. Current temperatures sitting in the upper 50s for most of the region, seeing low 60s as you travel into Monticello, 61 degrees. High temperatures will be about the same as yesterday, although a little bit cooler for most of the region as we sit in the upper 60s and low 70s, a trend that will continue into tomorrow. Here's a look at that breakdown for the day. A little bit cooler in the 50s, some places again seeing the 60s, but by the time we head into that 4 o'clock mark, that's when we'll see the warmest temperatures of the day. Amelia.
Well, it has been a whirlwind few hours since Chicago-born Cardinal Robert Prevost was announced as the new Pope Leo XIV. Soon he'll lead his first Mass with cardinals as the new leader of the world's 1.5 billion Catholics. CBS News' Tina Kraus has more from the Vatican.
Excitement is overflowing this morning in St. Peter's Square with Pope Leo XIV set to lead his first Mass.
I have never seen anything like this for any papal event.
The white smoke billowing from the Sistine Chapel chimney on day 2 of the conclave Thursday revealed the historic election. Soon after, Cardinal Robert Prevost appeared on the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square as the first American-born pope.
Pace sia con tutti voi.
His first words to the cheering crowds of faithful in Italian, "Peace be with all you."
Oh my God, it's Rob.
The election of the 69-year-old Chicago native surprised even his own siblings.
You know how some kids like to play war and be soldiers? He wanted to play priest.
And we just teased, you're going to be the Pope.
Pope Leo XIV is the first pontiff from the Augustinian order, and the heart of that group came through in his first blessing as he urged people to build bridges, embrace dialogue, and show compassion through charity. The new Bishop of Rome spent much of his life in Peru, even gaining citizenship. Friar Ramiro Castillo describes him as a simple, quiet person. In the U.S., the reaction to the first American pontiff has been anything but quiet. From the White House.
That's a great honor.
To Prevost's alma mater, Villanova University.
I heard the bells, and it was just a really surreal experience.
In Chicago, a friendly battle between the two hometown baseball clubs, both claiming the new pope as a fan. Tina Kraus, CBS News, the Vatican.
Pope Leo XIV's brother says that he's a White Sox fan. The Vatican says the new pope will lead Sunday prayer from St. Peter's Basilica. Then on Monday, he's expected to hold an audience with the press. The wait to see if and how Pope Leo could change the Catholic Church has now begun. On Wednesday, Catholic leaders in Kentucky expressed their emotions surrounding the selection process of a new pope. Stan Jr. Zarowski is the pastoral associate at the historic St. Paul Catholic Church in downtown Lexington. He says the process of picking the new pope is one that's brought excitement and uncertainty about what the direction of the church will be.
The Spirit never takes us somewhere and opens us up only to shut us down. We just hope that those that have been brought back to the church, those that have found a home in the church that otherwise had felt like they were on the margins, will continue to feel that way when they pick a new man to lead.
We have more information about the historic decision to elect an American pope on our website, WYMT.com, and our news app. Police continue to investigate a Knox County shooting. We are told the shooting happened yesterday afternoon in the Stinking Creek area. One person was reportedly shot and they were flown out to UK hospital. Deputies with the sheriff's office say the suspect has not been caught. A Wolf County man led police on a car chase. Now he faces charges. Deputies say they received several complaints about a reckless driver in the Helchwa area Wednesday. Police say they saw Michael Brake heading toward Lee City as they patrolled Kentucky 205. When police tried to pull him over, he sped up but eventually hit a rut, causing his vehicle to turn over. A Corbin man was arrested after police found him intoxicated in public with pinpoint pupils. Police in Laurel County responded to a suspicious person's complaint on Wednesday at a business off Kentucky 770. Police say the man who made the call, Christopher West, said he could see people in his attic and wanted police to check it out. He was charged with public intoxication and disorderly conduct. The search for a missing man continues in Laurel County. Crews spent the last 5 days trying to find 26-year-old John Myrick. His boat flipped over Sunday afternoon near the Laurel Lake Dam. Fish and Wildlife says they recovered some fishing gear Tuesday. Officials say they believe that they found the boat, but at last check had not been able to get it out of the water. A TikTok challenge made its way to a Perry County school. Officials say students damaged 7 Chromebooks while attempting the trend at one elementary school. The trend encourages students to try and short out their school-issued Chromebooks. Safe Schools Coordinator Harvey Caldwell tells WYMT he was notified by the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security on Tuesday that this challenge was making the rounds. Then the school posted on Facebook about the issue on Wednesday.
It's a major safety concern for everybody involved. If a fire breaks out or anything, we don't want any kids to get hurt.
Caldwell says every student at Perry County Schools has access to a Chromebook and technology. He encourages you to speak to your child about using technology safely and the potential dangers of participating in online trends. As we told you last week, the CDC reported a decline in overdose deaths throughout the country last year. In Kentucky, there was a decline of 27.5% in overdose deaths, which was actually more than the 26.5% decline from the entire country. Representative Hal Rogers says he's proud the Commonwealth has seen this decline.
This is an insidious disease, drug addiction, and it's causing untold misery for families, for parents, schools, works, and so forth.
Rogers was recently at the 2025 Drug Summit where he shared the news from the CDC. With Real ID enforcement now in place, organizations around the country are hoping more people will sign up to save a life when they get to the DMV. They say it's a good time to fill out the paperwork to become an organ donor. Health leaders say the more than 100,000 people on the national transplant list are waiting for an organ. More than 90% of organ donors' registrations come through the DMV. In Northern California, leaders with Sierra Donor Services says they secured 425 transplants from 170 dead donor heroes last year.
For everybody waiting in line at the DMV, you might be a little tired, you might be a little frustrated, but you can do some really good work and make a plan to one day save up to 8 people's lives.
If you already have your Real ID, you can still register to become an organ donor. Just visit donatelife.net to learn more. It's 5:08, and thank you for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning. Another former First Lady joined some of her peers as the U.S. plans to honor Barbara Bush with her own stamp.
And clear conditions persist this weekend. I'll have the next rain chance up next.